Don't worry, Renee, I think we got it.
All right, now we're recording. So now we are gonna get started. So my name is Leanne, and I'm coming to you from Park Forest. And today we are going to talk about the home and community-based settings rule. This is an overview of what it means for you. And we also have as a special guest, Christine. Christine is here. Go ahead, Christine. Can you tell us just a smidge about the Alliance?
Hello, everyone, and thanks for allowing me to spend a little bit of time with you today. My name is Christine Beck, and I am with the Illinois Self-Advocacy Alliance. And the Alliance is a statewide network of self-advocates and self-advocacy groups all around Illinois. And so what we do is we help people to strengthen their self-advocacy muscles and to stretch their self-advocacy wings. And self-advocacy is about speaking up and speaking out for the things that are important to you. So maybe we could try this call and response. When I say speak up, you say speak out. All right, so let's try this. Speak up and oh, holy moly, that was really good. Can we try it again? Because I know we've got the power. I know we've got the energy. Let's try it one more time. Speak up and speak out. Oh my goodness. You guys all must have had your Wheaties this morning because that was amazing. All right, so I'm excited to learn with and from you today. I've never been on one of these trainings, and so I'm really eager to hear you all speak up and
speak out.
Yes, thank you, Leanne.
All right, everybody. I am sharing my screen right now. And as we go along, I will share what's on the screen. I'm wondering, Jean, should I turn on the closed captioning? Or will that just?
I think it'll confuse everybody and they won't really pay attention. But I promise I will take care of my peeps later.
Yep, I figured that, but I just wanted to check. So you guys are looking at my full screen, yes? Yeah. You're not looking at any notes pages or anything. Yeah. All right. Okay, so welcome. This is called the HCBS Settings Rule Countdown to Implementation. Only this is for you guys, so you know what's happening in the state, where you live, and where you go for community day services. And this is called the final rule. And there are a ton of rules, right? We have rules in the law. We have rules in our house. We have rules with mom and dad. These rules are for the provider. So they're for Open Door Rehab and all the other organizations like them. Okay, so we're going to teach you guys what the rules are so you can help Open Doors know what you want them to do. Okay, so the rules apply to what's called provider-owned or controlled settings. Which means if you live in a SILA, okay, or go to community day services, this applies to you. Okay, and so for our folks who are at home right now, or anybody who lives in a SILA or a group home, this rule applies to where you live. And if you're at day services, it applies to where you work. Excuse me, one sec. I am so sorry. I'm not sure. It's these allergies, I think. Do other people have allergies too? Yeah, I bet you do. Okay, so the first part of the rule is all about person-centered planning. And that is that annual meeting that you have with your ISC, your independent service coordinator, and with Open Door. And they do the discovery meeting with you, and then everybody sits around and talks with you and decides what's going to happen over the next year, and sometimes what happened over the past year. But there's some rules around this that you guys should be aware of. And maybe you've already experienced this, but just in case, I want to make sure that you guys know what's expected. So the first thing that the rule says is that it must contain your hopes, dreams, and input, meaning that meeting cannot take place unless you are there. Now, some of my friends who receive services in other organizations, there have been times in the past where I've been like, hey, time for your meeting. And they're like, hey, I'd rather work. Okay, well, you know why that was? Because whoever was scheduling the meeting scheduled the meeting for a time that was not a good time for the person who the meeting was about. Okay, now that's one of the things that happens. The meeting is scheduled when you want the meeting. So if you do not want to miss day's program, then you ask to have the meeting in the evening, on the weekend, maybe during your lunch hour. But these are the things that people should be asking you. The next thing it says on the screen is that it's not a once and done. We don't do this meeting once a year and then never look at it again. Okay? Because what it says is that the plan has to be written in a way that you can understand. So if you don't read words, that means that somebody needs to read it to you. That means that it needs to have pictures in it. Maybe it's going to be a slideshow like this with pictures of what you've done every year. But the bottom line is that you need to know what's in the plan so that if it's not happening, you can say, hey, Jean, this is in my plan and it's not happening. And I'm picking on Jean just because he's one of the big bosses. So we'll just use him. Okay. So it's got to contain your hopes and dreams. It's got to be written in a way that you understand it and you get to choose when it is. Maybe you don't want to have it at day program. You want to have it at your house. You get to pick where it is. You know what? You also get to pick who's going. Do you want one of your friends to go? Do you want your boyfriend or your girlfriend to go? Maybe you have a staff who works really, really a lot with you and helps you with everything and is your special person who advocates for you. You can invite them to your meeting. Okay, so this is the first super important thing that you need to know. Okay, the next thing, this rule that we've been talking about, this rule since 2014. Okay, that was a long time ago. And finally now, next year, on St. Patrick's Day 2023, so less than a year from now, we got to be ready and the rule's going to be in place. Wow. So some of the basics of the rule says it defines, which means it describes what a home and community-based setting should look like. Okay, it also describes what places that are not community-based. Okay, It describes what integration, which that's kind of a big word that means you can go every place that everybody else can go. Sometimes we talk about integration, racial integration. So everybody of any race can go to a place. That's integration. So when we're talking about it, it means everybody with and without disabilities can go any place, okay? The rule also supports full access of people who receive Medicaid funding. So that's what pays for you to go to Open Door. Full access to the greater community. And that's the greater community where you live. Okay, so if you have stores near where you live, the rule says you should be able to go to those stores. If you have water park or miniature golf where you live, the rule says, hey, we want people with disabilities to be able to go everywhere people without disabilities can go. And finally, the rule says, and this is the state's part that they have to do, is that when you're looking for somewhere new to live, you get to pick from a bunch of different places, not just 2 places, okay? Not just maybe this group home or that group home, but that you can pick from places where people without disabilities live. Okay, so maybe you and your roommate get an apartment and have 24-hour staff in the apartment, something like that. In Illinois, that doesn't happen a lot right now, but because of this rule, the state is working on how they're going to make that happen for people who want to. Now, it also doesn't mean that everybody's going to want to move out. I just moved, I'm telling you, I never want to move again. And that's okay. But for people who may want to move, we want to make sure that the opportunity is there. Does anybody have any questions? No. If you do, maybe staff, when we have big groups, if people come up with questions, maybe you will save them for the end, but I'm going to count on you guys to let me know. Okay. The other thing that the rule says the settings must promote. So this is your SILA or your day program. It must promote individual initiative. Wow. Okay. We can tell that this was written by lawyers. Okay. What that means is you are deciding what you want for yourself. Okay. Autonomy means being as independent as you want to be. Okay. Because sometimes, does it ever happen to you where we as staff might think, oh no, I don't know if they could do that, they might get hurt. And you're thinking, yeah, I can do that. I'm willing to risk it. That's what this is talking about. It's also talking about making choices. You deciding what you want in your life. Okay, you deciding what you want for breakfast, what you want for lunch, what you're gonna wear, where do you want to live, what you want to do for fun, all of those things. And it also means you being a part of your community, the community where you live. Okay. Now, there's some specifics in this rule that you may already have seen that I know Gene Stevens has been working on to make all this stuff easy to understand for everybody who lives there. And you guys, they're already working on residential agreements for when you move into a SILA. Everybody who lives in the SILA is going to have what's called a lease or a residential agreement. And what that means is it's a paper that's written so you can understand it, that's gonna explain this is what happens in this house. Okay, this is when your rent is paid. These are the rules. Okay, lots of places, lots of apartments have rules about no smoking in the apartment building. I live in co-ops and they just sent out a new rule that no charcoal grills are allowed. Okay, and everybody has to abide by those rules because that's part of our agreement to live here. Sometimes leases have information about pets, whether you can have pets, whether you have to pay a deposit to have a pet, rules about how many pets or how much they can weigh. All of those things go into a lease. Okay, so everybody is going to have a lease or a residential agreement. It's kind of the same thing, just different names. One of the big parts of the rule is privacy, that everybody has privacy when they want it. And one of the things that this means is that everybody who lives in Scylla is going to get a key to their house, okay, and a key to their room. And the key may be, it may be instead of a key that you turn, it may be a code that gets you in. Sometimes it may be a thumbprint that gets you in. Sometimes it can be like in a hotel, maybe it's a magnetic card, all different things, because we all deserve to have privacy. Okay, when we talk to staff about this, we make sure that staff understands that people get privacy. So staff knock on the door before they come in. They wait for you to answer before they come in. This is all part of privacy. And the cool thing about the rule is that it's all individual. So whatever privacy means to you, the organization, Open Door Rehab, is going to find out what, hey, what's important to you for privacy. Okay, and we're also going to learn about privacy. Okay, have you ever known somebody who, I don't know, forgets to close the bathroom door, or so yeah, that happens a lot with young kids. And so we, people who have young kids or older adults with them, or really just anybody, everybody deserves privacy. Okay. Everybody also deserves dignity and respect. And you know what? Dignity and respect are a couple of words that mean different things to different people. Okay. If we think about RESPECT, find out what it means to me, because it means different things to different people. And one of the things that the rule talks about is, how can I treat you with dignity and respect if I don't know what dignity and respect mean for you? Okay, so dignity, a little explanation. Dignity means kind of that I am presuming that you can do something. There's something called the dignity of risk. Okay, I am just going to presume that you want a lock on your door and that we're going to be able to teach you how to use a key to unlock it, or a fob, or whatever it takes. Okay, that I am giving you the dignity that I'm going to assume that you can do something. Respect is, I'm respecting what you want in your life. So I'm respecting your desire for privacy. I'm respecting your want to vote. I'm respecting you enough to help you dress the way you want to dress, to help you look your best. I'm respecting you enough to help you with activities that mean something to you. Okay, that's what respect looks like. And the rule says that we as organizations have to do that. Okay. It also says freedom from coercion and restraint. You know, though the federal government is really good at using big words. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Let's talk about restraint first. Sometimes, you know, a long time ago, lots and lots of times, staff were allowed to stop people from doing things by touching them, okay, by holding their arm, by guiding them places, by maybe holding them to keep them from hurting themselves or another person. So when this says freedom from restraint, what this is saying is, you know what, we don't do that anymore unless we have tried absolutely everything and there is nothing else that is going to work. And then you have to agree to it. You have to understand it and you have to agree to it that, you know what, in an emergency, if I'm going to hurt myself or another person, I'm saying it is okay if you touch me. Okay, that is what freedom from restraint is. Okay, now freedom from coercion. Coercion is a little bit different. It is really somebody using words to get you to do something that you don't want to do. Okay, so let me give you an example. I'll use myself. I hate lima beans. It is as simple as that. If I never see a lima bean ever in my life, I will be happy. Okay, but my husband loves lima beans. So every time I have to make lima beans, if my husband is saying to me, Leanne, just try the lima beans. You don't hate them that much, do you? You really do like lima beans, don't you? Go ahead, eat the lima beans. You'll like the lima beans. And I'm saying, no, I do not like the lima beans. And he says, if you don't eat the lima beans, you're not going to get dessert tonight. That's coercion. Okay, getting you to do something that you don't want to do using words. Okay, so the rule says that is not going to happen. And you know what? Sometimes stuff like that happens because do staff do it to be mean? No. Do we think we know what's best sometimes? Oh, yeah, we do. Even if we think something's, you need to do something that you're not doing. Well, that's what the rule says, is that, hey, people have choices in their lives. Everybody we're serving is an adult, okay? So some choices that the rule includes and that the rule talks about is who to live with, okay? Now, some of us live with people who we really like. And some of us have had some roommates in the past who, oh, no, thank you. I'm only going to stay with you as long as I have to. Okay, So one of the things that the rule says is that people have a choice of who to live with. So a housemate, okay? People have, some choices include where to live. And some choices include whether or not to have a roommate who we share a room with, okay? Now, this is another thing that Open Door Rehab has no control over right now. The state of Illinois is the one that's responsible for making sure that this happens. And when you have your meeting with your ISC, when you have your person-centered planning meeting and your discovery meeting, the rule says that they have to ask you about this. And if you say, I don't like my housemates, I want to move, they're going to make a note of that and start working toward that. If you say, oh my gosh, I love my roommate, I want my roommate forever, no matter where we move, I want to have the same roommate, they're going to write that down too, because that happens a lot. You know, when you've lived with someone for a really long time, I don't know, it's better to be with somebody you know than we're not sure about. Okay, so this is another thing that is being worked on in the state. All right, this one is kind of a big one. This says that you get to decorate your own room and your own house. Okay, so your room and your house should reflect or should look like you live there. Okay, I don't know if you can see behind me in my office, I have a quilt here because I like quilts. I have a painting here, and if you could see the rest of the mess, you would see that I have lots of things I like in my office. This is my room, okay? This is my room. I get to decorate it however I want. The rest of my house, though, I work with my husband, who I live with, to decide how we're going to decorate the rest of my house, okay? So the rule says for your room, you decorate that however you want it. For the rest of your house, you work with everybody you live with and you figure out, hey, how do we want to decorate this? Okay, what do we want this to look like? If it's all guys living there, I don't know, do you guys want flowers and pastels in your kitchen? I don't know, so maybe. Or would you rather have it, I don't know, in like sports, or I guess that's kind of a gross generalization there. But if everybody in your house's favorite color is red and blue, then probably you wouldn't want your kitchen to be pink and yellow. Okay, that's what we mean by working together to decorate your house. Some other things that the rule says is that you get to have control of your schedule and your activities. So they're working a day program to get schedules, individual schedules for everybody about whether people, what days are people going to work? What days are people going to go out? Do people want to exercise? What are some of the things? And the same thing at home, okay? Because maybe you have a job in the community and your laundry day is Tuesday, but you've got to have a clean uniform on Thursday and Friday. So, hey, I'm switching when I'm doing my laundry. It's that type of thing. It's working together for who's going to do what. What do you want to do for fun? What do you want to do for work? Do you all like going the same place? If we go over to our next, we have, do people like bowling? Do people like, we got some karaoke singers there? What if you got one person in your house who likes karaoke? Does everybody want to go to karaoke? Maybe, maybe not. Karaoke is usually only fun for the person singing. Okay, and I know that. I sing karaoke. It's only fun when I'm singing. Okay, maybe you'd rather go bowling. Maybe you want to go to a movie. Maybe you want to go see Batman. Somebody else from your house wants to go see some other movie that's showing. And so this is your choice. Okay. And this is where there's going to be a ton of talking. Okay. Talking with staff, talking with the people you live with, talking with people in your groups at day services to figure out what everybody wants to do and how we're going to figure that out. Okay. This is why we've had so long to make sure that this happens, because it was supposed to be done in 2019, which is 3 years ago. So we've had 4 extra years by the time this gets done. So that's what we're taking this year to do, is really talking to people to find out what they want and find out how, as an organization, Open Door can help with that. Okay. All right. Another thing that the rule says is that you're going to have control, or you need to have control of your money as much as you want to have control of your money. Okay. One of the great things about where you guys live and receive services is you already have control of your money. Okay. And you're supported as much or as little as you want or you need. So the Open Door is way ahead of the curve on this one. Okay. But if you want more control, what this is saying is, you know what, we're going to ask you if you want more control, but you know what, you don't have to wait to be asked. As Christine said, when you were speaking up and speaking out, this is part of it. Hey, maybe you want to try something else with your money. Maybe you want a little more control. Okay. Maybe you are tired of doing this and you are perfectly happy just doing what you've always done. And both are okay. Okay. As long as you have the option. So another thing that the rule says is that people have access to food at any time. So does this mean that we're going to have, I don't know, a big bag of candy bars next to our bed? Probably not, unless you're like 17 and it doesn't matter how much candy you eat. But for everybody else, we probably won't have candy next to the bed. We probably will more likely have, I don't know, whatever kind of snacks you want, but it's access to what kind of food you want. Maybe you're not an early morning eater. Some people don't eat breakfast early in the morning. Some people, like me, I eat breakfast or it's going to be a tough day. I can skip lunch, I can skip dinner, but skipping breakfast is kind of hard for me because if I don't eat breakfast, then sometimes I get an upset tummy. Okay. Maybe you have to take medicine with food. Okay. So you need to have a snack at medicine time, but maybe you want a snack earlier than that. Okay. The rule says that we're going to work together for you to have access to food when you want it. Okay. And this kind of goes along with access to, you know, your home and anywhere you want to go in your home. Okay. So this you know, for a lot of people, this is probably already, you're like, Leanne, this is nothing new. And to that I say, woohoo, because there's lots of people who live in Scylla who this is not true for. Okay. And so that's why they had to put this in the rule, because there's some places that You know, after dinner, oh, the kitchen's closed. Well, it's my kitchen, so I can go in the kitchen whenever I want. And so these are things, again, we already said, we're going to have to be talking a lot and working together to figure out how we're going to do this. Okay. Another thing that the rule says is that you can have visitors at any time. Now, does that mean that you're going to go on the internet, meet a stranger, and have the stranger come over to your house? Well, I sure hope not, because I don't think your roommates or housemates would be very happy about that. So this is another thing that we are going to be talking about with your roommates and housemates to figure out, you know what, when is a good time for me to have my friend over? When is a good time for my mom to come and visit? How long is it okay if mom or dad or my friends stay over? Because they live pretty far away. So maybe they're going to spend the night in my room with me. But think about what might happen if 6 people live in a house and the 6 people don't talk to each other, and all of a sudden everybody wants to have an overnight visitor the same night. This is why roommates and housemates talk to each other, and they make rules for themselves about how is it going to work when we want to have visitors. When I was an adult and I had a roommate, we talked about the fact that we could have visitors, but no strangers. Okay, that I could have my boyfriend over for dinner. She could have her friends come for overnight visits. It was fine, but it was only people that we knew, and that we made sure that the other one wasn't having people over at the same time. So for the new rules, that's why we have this year, there's going to be a lot of talking. And you guys are going to need to speak up and speak out about what you want with your roommates, with your housemates, with your staff, and with Jean Stevens. Okay. All right. So the last of the big rules is that the home is physically accessible. So what that means is I can go anywhere in my house that I want, because if I use a wheelchair, I have a ramp. If I can't climb the stairs, I have a way to get up there. Okay, maybe there's a seat, you know, one of those stair lifts that brings you up. So the rule says that the home must be physically accessible for everybody who lives there. Okay, so if there's a house with stairs, then maybe only young, healthy people who can climb the stairs live there. Okay, if there's my stuff is kept in the basement, then I need to be able to get down to the basement. And of all the rules that we just talked about, this is the only one that can't be modified. Okay, so we're going to talk about that now, what are called temporary restrictions. So sometimes people need help in doing things or in living their best lives. And sometimes that means that maybe we are doing something that is so unsafe that we have to have what's called a restriction or a rights modification done. Now, the first thing is you have to approve this, okay? That nobody can like put the restriction on without you knowing about it and without you agreeing to it. And the rule says this, even if you have a guardian, okay? So your guardian's gonna say, yeah, that's okay with me. You need to say, yeah, that's okay with me. I understand. So let's say I had a girl that I worked with in Pennsylvania, a girl that I met was on Facebook, and her mom put her on a diet. Now this girl was thin, but the mom didn't want her to have candy. And so she would have rice cakes for a snack. Well, this girl was not happy and she was very smart. So she went on Facebook and on her Facebook page posted when she had unsafe Facebook stuff to begin with, because she, number one, had made friends with a bunch of people who she did not know, which is number one dangerous thing. But she put her address on her Facebook page and said, please send me candy. And nobody knew about this until all this candy started arriving at the group home. Okay, that is dangerous. It's dangerous for her. It's dangerous for the people who she lives with. And she just would not listen. Okay, they kept telling her, you can't do that. No, you can't do check-ins on your phone saying where you are when you're by yourself. No, you shouldn't make friends with people. All of this internet safety stuff. She's like, I don't need to listen to you. So finally, they had to give her a restriction after they tried everything. Okay, they tried talking to her. They tried having the police talk to her. They had her go through a internet safety course at the library. Okay, she just would not listen. She wanted her candy. She wanted to invite people over, strangers, perfect strangers who didn't even live in the country. Okay, she wanted to eat the candy that came from the strangers. And so they tried all these things, nothing worked. So then they had to say, you know what? You can't get on the internet unless you're with the staff. And that restriction was put in place. The key about the restriction is it had to be temporary. So every month they would review, she would get 5 minutes alone and boom, right back at it. Until finally, after about a year, she finally understood, I need to be safer or I'm never going to get off this restriction. Okay. And so that's the key to the restrictions is you need to know about it. You need to agree to it. And it has to be temporary. Okay. So for community day services, everything the same. Okay, the rules are the same. You have people need to give you information. Do you want to work in the community? Do you want to go volunteer? Where do you want to go to church? Where do you want to go to your medical appointments? If you're going out, do you want to eat out? Can you order? I don't even know if where you are, they have Uber, you know, can you order food delivered? Okay, can somebody run out if somebody's running out to get food? Okay, can you switch your lunchtime if you want to? Okay, now, if you're working and nobody can switch their lunchtime, then nobody can switch their lunchtime. But if some people can switch their lunchtime, then everybody should be able to switch their lunchtime. And these are all part of the final rule. So, do we have any questions? And I see everybody's muted, but if you have a question, you can wave and I can unmute. Or
Leanne, can I just hop in here real quick?
absolutely.
Hey guys, it's Uncle Gene. Hey, for staff that are at the houses and at the workshops, if you see somebody that has a question, if you could help interpret that question. I know because we are on a Zoom call, we may not hear voices. So staff, please assist anybody that might have a question, and you can approach the microphone so that we are able to hear you.
Yeah. I'm actually focusing on this for being funded. And by the way, my name is Kimberly Anderson, and I am supposed to be on this, but I haven't heard anything about that yet. And I do have a question that, like, if we go out, like, if we have like a single person with us, like Beth takes us to like shoe store or out to eat or shopping or Walmart, the non-funded people can still go, right?
So Kim, I'm hearing that's you, hon. So your question, Kim, by the way, Leanne is one of our several people in the community that we support, and she's currently not funded, but we still support her. So Kim, if I understand your question is whether or not you're going out, because our guys do take you out on activities and we include, you want to be included in other groups. Is that what I'm hearing you ask? Kim, can you approach the TV screen closer, hon? Because we're having a problem hearing you. There you go. Can you say your question again?
Okay, I am currently not funded, but I am on a list. Okay, I haven't heard anything from that yet, which I hope I am still on the list. And I was wondering is that some of us goes on, with Beth Risk, to like shopping, or we can go to like get new shoes and grocery shopping. But she said that we have to have like a SILA person with us, like Sue Wade or whoever else is in SILA. Now, what if they're not in SILA, like me for one, and my friend Debbie, can we still go on an activity?
Yeah, you guys, we want to support you guys that are unfunded in any way way possible. It's a billing question, Leanne, not a rights question.
Yeah, no, I got that.
So basically, sweetie, what we're doing is so that open door, because if we just take you out one-on-one, Kim, if you and I were to go shopping, open door can't bill for that because you're not funded. But I'll tell you a secret, if I take someone else who is funded, then I get paid through them, but you tag along. And then so you benefit just as much. So that's the reason why we say that when we want to take you shopping, we want to go to the movies, we want to do those things, we want to include somebody else that does have funding so that open door gets paid. That's really the honest truth.
And I'm still on the list, right?
As far as I know, yes, you are on that funds list, and we're just waiting for that lottery win to come through. And when we do, we'll celebrate.
Okay, I hope so, because I've been waiting for like, I don't know how long now.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure it's years.
Yeah. And I was also told that, because I don't really have it yet, that you have to have a public aid, but I hope they're not counting it. They're not counting that I don't have it, and I can't be on the list.
No, you're on. Yeah, if they sign you up for the list, you are on the list.
All right, cool.
Good question, Kim.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
All right.
Last month, Jamie took me shopping.
Hi,
Oh, you
Karen.
got to go shopping? Fun.
Shopping last month.
Yeah.
Fun. So you guys are doing stuff. Does anybody have any other questions?
Miss Lori, I see your little self approaching the TV screen.
Hi, Lori. Go ahead.
I was going to say that we are going to take on February month. We ended a list that local farmers sorted out. I didn't do that.
So, can staff assist Lori? Lori, if I'm understanding you, you're talking about Fox Valley Mall
Yeah,
and the list of activities
yeah, I'm in your list.
that you choose from?
Yeah,
Yes, yes. We haven't done that in a while because of COVID, but that's brand new. You guys just started looking at that list just a little while ago, right?
I
Is that-
haven't stayed, not yet. Yeah, her mom, went out to stay for activities. I'm gonna carry him, I live in Waco. Yeah, I'm going to either be telling, you go together, you don't think you're like that, you never say.
Yes, you guys can go together. If you guys look at that list and you say, hey, I want to go to Fox Valley Mall, you just got to let your caseworker, your QIDP know, and they will tell Miss Lori Wisdom, and she will put you guys on that list so that you guys can go together.
Yeah.
I think I got that.
Yeah, I think so too. That's good. So we're gonna do a quick review and then you guys will be able to talk about this. So here's, in a nutshell, everybody's gonna have a residential agreement. Everybody has a right to privacy. Everybody who lives in Scylla is gonna have a key to the house and a key to their room. Everybody has a right to decorate their room and house, and this is within the limits of the lease. We go back to that residential agreement, okay? You're also gonna have freedom and support to control your own schedule and activities. Everything you were just talking about. I wanna go to the mall. I wanna go to Fox Valley. I wanna go to Fox Valley, that's a great mall. I wanna go to Fox Valley and I want to go with my friends. That's a perfect example of what we're talking about here. I also have access to food at any time. I can have visitors at any time. Any restrictions are temporary. Okay, that means that they're not permanent. We're going to look at them. We're going to see if we can get off of the restrictions. And you're going to have your person-centered plan. And that is already in place. They are reworking it now, making sure that everybody involved, the ISCs, know that it has to be in a format that you understand, that you have to be included, that you get to invite who you want, and that you can run your own meeting, that we're going to have it at a time convenient for you. And the ISCs are getting trained in all of this, just like you are getting trained. And you know why you're getting trained? So that you can speak up and speak out about it if it's not happening. Okay. So we have 5 minutes left. If we have any questions, any other questions or comments, or we can talk to Uncle Gene, or we can
I've
just.
got something to tell. I mean, if questions, absolutely. But I wanted to make it very clear too that, hey guys, those residential agreements that Leanne and Christine were talking about, you're going to be getting those pretty soon. We're going to be going through all those, meeting with mom and dad and guardians and anyone else that's important to you. We're going to be going all over those and explaining those and then signing those and putting them in your file. We're also going to be doing some talking about privacy and about what's important. What privacy things do you want? Do you want privacy in your room? Do you want the ability to lock your stuff up and make sure that it's safe? We're going to be talking about all of that and then writing it all down. We call those evaluations. So we're going to do those. You're going to do those with your queue. We're getting brand new locks. Some of you already got those really cool new locks. Some of them have brand new keys. Some of you have little thumb ones. Oh my gosh. And so, and those of you that live at Pine, you're getting your brand new front door lock. We tried one already and it kind of stunk and it didn't work very well. So we bought a brand new one, and then it's also got codes, it's got fingerprints. We're going to be playing around with all this stuff so that we get it right. So there's lots and lots of stuff that we're going to be doing. And the most important part, I know you guys are most excited about, the activity program is back. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So yes, activity calendars are coming out. Thank God, you know, that around here it's a lot safer to go out and about. So
Yep.
we're doing that. The activity calendars are out. You guys are going to be making those choices again. You're going to be getting your schedules again. All of that's coming. So I know everybody's applauding those activity calendars. I love it. So yes, so all of that's coming. So I promise it's coming soon.
It looks like Oak House has a question, Jean.
Miss Tony.
I got a question.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
If I go on vacation with my mom and dad, I have you wear a face mask.
You know, that's a good question, Tony. I mean, it depends to me. How are you feeling? You're fully, if everybody's fully vaccinated and where you're going, you got to make that decision with mom and dad. You got to have that talk with mom and dad. What's your level of safety that you're willing, or what level of risk are you willing to take?
My mom and dad yell at me about the reunion. We usually have family reunion. She yelled
Family
about
reunion, gotcha.
She's yelling at me talk about the reunion. I keep yelling at me about the reunion.
Okay, well, one of the things that you and your Q can do, we can call mom and dad and we can help with that conversation, and you guys together can decide what decisions you guys want to make regarding the level of risk there, okay?
If they keep helping me on it.
Well, that's a conversation all of our families have to have, and sometimes they can be difficult.
Yeah.
But we can help coordinate that.
I go on the family reunion. I don't like the Mickey's son personally stepping on their feet.
Oh, okay. I thought we had a question at West, but she went away.
Oh,
They went away. All right, so I don't see any other questions. Yes, I do. Do we have someone with a question at West?
hey,
Okay.
Sean, I see you. I see your hand, buddy. What do you want?
On the question, on I got mom and I had got and one
Yeah.
mom.
Absolutely. Everybody's so excited about the Fox Valley Mall coming back on activities. And so, yes, everybody's going to have some choices to make and some decisions to make. Michelle, I see your hand raised. Did you have a question, Michelle? How is Gina doing? Gina is doing absolutely fine, sweetie. And I will give you guys a complete update when I come and see you later this afternoon, okay?
Oh, oh yay, Uncle Gene's going to visit West. Fun. All right, everybody. We are going to